Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We got we'll call it a bonus stream because probably not going to be able to stream Phobies tonight. We're going to be doing something a little bit different. My wife and I have a different stream plan. So we're going to be looking at some Monster of the Week A. I'm hoping that a little later on today, before we hit our tabletop stream, that we're going to be able to do Monster of the Week B. Or we're just kind of playing it by ear. Notably, it's also during the day. I got all the lights on. It is hotter than the seventh circle of hell. So I do have one of the fans on. Hopefully the background noise is not too much. Please let me know when this hits YouTube. Let me know if there's like white noise in the background or something, either when I'm speaking or not, so that way I know whether I can position fans, because I was doing some testing and it's one of those like, I think I can hear it, but I don't know how much of that is in my head. With that out of the way, we do have a few games to look at. Had a number of people submit highlights, so we're going to take a peek at those. Of course, before we do, I have to let everybody know that I'm part of the content affiliate program. That means that I get coffee for producing Phobies content, including these tournaments, which the devs do provide coffee for. And I got word that the Vendy bot in-game is once again handing out the coffee, which is actually pretty sweet. So if you're curious about any of that, hit up the links in the description. Of course, my Discord is where you'll find all the details for this and upcoming events. But let's get into it. All right, chat. Got to pull up the first game real quick. Nope, the bracket closed on me. All right. So yeah, like I said, do let me know about any of the issues as far as excuse me. Anything like the we're going to do this. I want to do minimal editing, so I'm switching to a scene where people can't see as I'm pulling up the games. They don't get spoiled, we'll say. All right, so the problem is trying to figure out what the hell is ALASTOR number 125. Why is that not found? Huh. Okay, so what the hell is this person's in-game name? I love it when people misspell their own names. I ask people and then they wonder why. Oh. All right, well, our first game, despite some some effort on our player's side to try and trick me, we have Alistair and we have Shadowborn. So we're going to take a peek at what we've got in game one. There are no notes for this. This is Monster of the Week A. Like I said, we're going to try and look at B later. I'm also trying to up my water intake, chat, because the doctor said I need to drink more water. I wasn't drinking enough fluid, so we're going to see if we can fix that. We're on the big house here, as always. We have a custom map pool. Readjusting the mic here. Custom map pool, meaning that I select maps out of the available ones. I still wish, and we did get, I asked the devs, and we got an official response. I said, is it a technical limitation, or is there a design reason for why frenemies cannot have all of the maps at all times as compared to being tied to the rotation? Because that would obviously make tournaments easier. Why would you do that? Okay, so I was about to go heebie-jeebie special, which this kind of is, but why would you not block it? Okay, so the justification here, I think, is you still block off your panic point. Why that one, I don't know. But it does make it a little bit more challenging for your opponent to break with the Gravedigger. So the Gravedigger, if it wanted to break that block, Shadowborn's Gravedigger would have to be where the top Razor Mouth is, thereby opening itself up to Corn and Jar, but you just sacrifice your Gravedigger for effectively nothing. You do have a 4-to-1 panic point advantage, though, so there is that. But just to finish up the other point real quick, the devs, we got, I guess one of the programmers responded, I lumped that in with the devs, indicated that there's no technical limitation, it is a design limitation. So it's by intent, working as designed to prevent people from utilizing any map that they want in frenemies. So we're probably going to see this Gravedigger get popped by a trap. I have to imagine there's one by now. I wasn't really watching all that closely, truth be told. But we're getting the panic points flipped into... Ooh, no trap. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, this is not looking great for our orange player. Even amount of keys, but a significant board advantage for our blue player. Banking up to 6 here. Wait, what? All right, that's a bold move there, Cotton. But to be perfectly honest, I don't know if there's a way to punish this. Well, it depends on the trap. There are no traps! There are no traps. There are no traps. There are no traps! That means that Cassowary... Alright, Gesundheit will pop out. That's going to eliminate this Gravedigger. Down goes Gravedigger. I do like the attack animation for Gesundheit. Like, there's something satisfying about the thump when it connects. So that leaves our blue player simply with Mario and Luigi. You know what's funny is, like, the color coordination for the Hematic Ginsting, obviously a reference to blood, gonna be red, Ginsting. Alright. Pseudo-root reference because of ginseng and stuff like that, so, okay, it's green. But I wonder how much of the Mario and Luigi thing played in. And then you got Hercules, who's, like, kind of breaks the theme, but I don't know how you would do... What character would it be? If we were to recolor Hercules to be something more Mario and Luigi themed, Super Mario Brothers themed, what would it be? It'd have to be like pink for Peach, right? Alright, so we're getting the build-up. Shove Shark on either player's side. Got a little Bachelor sneaking in there, but of course there is a cowbell. I don't know that I love the Bachelor here. I mean, you're going to get the... we know there's no trap there because it didn't activate previously. And of course... Wait, what? Do you get a double kill here? Alright, this is interesting. I don't hate this. This allows for the body block, which is going to soak a bunch of damage, even though you will take some at least 2 retaliation hits. Because Gesundheit's almost dead. And it requires multiple hits from all these Phobies, and there's not going to be a counter kill from our orange player. I actually like this better, because the obvious play would have been to kill the Bachelor with the cowbell. You know, hit it with Ginsting once, slap it with the cowbell, which is probably what our orange player was expecting. Because then you can clear it out a little bit easier, maybe gives orange the ability to reposition, but this puts a lot of pressure on them, even though this results in a dead Ginsting. Maybe I don't like this better. I don't know. I can't decide. I kind of would need to see the other play out, or you know, we'll pause or would have to pause to review. We're not going to do that. Got to keep it quick because we want to get this in. Chat, let me know if you want to maybe have Karst help me co-cast one of these days. I haven't actually suggested the idea to Karst. This kind of came to me right now. So, trading out some 1 keys. 1 key advantage, obviously, in our blue player's court. With no heals, though, that Gesundheit is going to die to a more bees at some point. Okay, I was about to say, I don't know if I love that one, because you're just going to take spare damage on the giggles. But this game is kind of locked up at this stage, because ultimately, you put the 1 key in there, you already have, I don't love this positioning, although I guess it's fine. Bottom line is, our orange player has to commit into blue, and there's just really no way for them to do that without losing everything. Or if not losing everything, just taking a... You're going to end up getting hit buy a ton of stuff. And that's kind of it. This was very well played by Shadowborn. I think the one Bachelor play was interesting. I'd have to go back and look at it again to see if, like, oh yeah, this is definitely how it's going to play out. Because it was definitely we'll say the non-standard choice. But either way, GG, well played. Alright, chat. 30-second ads and streams. Well, there is the timer, so you know when they're coming at the very least. They should only do mid-rolls in accordance with the timer that's on screen. According to Twitch, if they're doing it the way they're supposed to. Alright, where's the next one? Aha. Alright. So next one up caused some laughs. It caused some laughs. Favorite games? I'm going to assume it's this one. Yeah, there's a Benny MVP. I know people can't see this, but alright, we're going to assume it's this one. Alright, we got Lord Shinra X versus Potenzia 2 on Diabolical. Shinra going first here, opening up with the old Snowball. Shocking. Distressing to everyone, I'm sure. Snowball's a good boy. Snowball's a very good boy. Old Bo Mangle's opener out of Potenzia. That feels a little abnormal for this map? Question mark? I'm unsure about that. I am unclear. Chad, I'm getting hungry. It's lunchtime. I need to eat. I wanted to get these games done before I ate. That may have been a mistake. Maybe I should have waited. Ooh, we're taking a very aggressive line here from Shinra. Obviously, with the back cap from Snowball, you can swing to your top panic point, but aggressively sending Cowbell to the north. Given Potenzia's opener, I kind of like this because there's really no way for Potenzia to contest this for several turns. It's going to take time to, say, roll this Crushmore up there, and the Crushmore's going to take even longer because based on the positioning, I think it's intended to break a block. But we do have the Innocuous down here, slowly creeping its way up. Of course, the terror of the Sentinels. Okay, everything I said about being aggressive with the Cowbell, throw that out the window. That's apparently not happening. Never mind. Honestly, I think you could have done it. Well, so the risk here is you end up losing the Cowbell for freezies, sort of, because Potenzia can then swing the Cowbell onto the stem. You're not going to kill the Cowbell with yours. And it's obviously going to kill you with the assistance of the stem. There's just no way for you to escape. So, I kind of get it. But we're getting matching Crushmores. Yeah, I guess it's not worth it, the one key for what, like 2 turns of panic point pressure? It's just not significant enough. So with the opening of those central blocks, that means Innocuous has a cleaner path to connect. We now get Shove Shark added to the crew. Not Innocuous. Noxious coming out. Noxious coming out. Little boopage there. I have to imagine this is a... No, we're just going for the chip shots. This is the scenario that we discussed with the Shadow Force N bunch of numbers game a few weeks ago on Viewer Games that I think Karst had suggested Shadow Force submit. Could be incorrect about the specifics there. But... Ooh... So we got an aggressive push here from Potenzia, taking over Shinra's stem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Phobies to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maxed out from Potenzia here, but this is how this map often ends. An aggressive push from this stem. It's difficult to defend because, as you can see, now the approach for Shinra is going to be fairly challenging. However, with the Evo 2.0, the displacement could allow for some tricks here. Now, the point I was making earlier about Shove Shark is that this whole shove into poke into retreat play is... Clearly the devs they were aware that it was going to be possible. But I guess the prevalence of it is what the community is taking issue with. The Shadow Force game was a highlight of kind of a very silly exchange. We'll see if this continues here. So Cowbell's going to get out of dodge. We're giving up the stim, which I guess a little brony action. Did I miscount before? Did something die? Breaking the obstacles here is interesting. I don't know if I love that positioning right now. I don't know that I love this. So, right now... Okay, Mother Load? Where's the Mother Load gonna go? Shove Shark... here. This is gonna turn off the whole team. This is gonna turn off the whole team. Or if not the whole team, it's gonna be pretty damn close. Woof. Brony. I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Brony looks like it's made out of bubblegum. Tell me Brony doesn't look like an animal cracker candy. You know what I mean? Like that. That's what it makes me think of. Yeah, so I imagine there's probably nothing Shinra can do at this stage, unless... So the Mr. Tramples is interesting, but I have to imagine it's there strictly for the purpose of, hey, I'm going to run in there as fast as I can to push damage. This does cause some positional problems for Potenzia. Panic point advantage is now only 4-3. We'll see what they actually elect to do. Just going hard here. I think that makes sense. Brony does have the option to potentially claim a panic point now, and Mr. Tramples is, I think there's one more turn of Brony deactivation. Yo, Rambolina getting in there. Doesn't care about the disease. I think that's correct. Yeah, with Shinra locked out for this additional turn, like, there's just literally nothing they can do. I wonder if the disease and poison tiles should be more significant. Because there's a world here where Shinra could have, like, just scraped by the skin of their teeth if this Noxious could have died to the disease. Brony takes a panic point. You could boop everything off. Don't even need to. GG. All of you people out there that are claiming that Brony is not a problem, I mean, I don't know what Shinra could have done differently, given... Okay, so this is... I've talked about this before with... It's not power creep, but there's a horizontal... Picture a spectrum, all the way to the left, all the way to the right, and, like, in order to deal with a phobia, you need something else. Maybe a spectrum isn't the right way to describe it, but the bottom line is you need slots on your team. You need the ability to react to certain phobies, and some of them demand specific answers and within a certain time frame. That's kind of true for every phobia. Some to more of a degree than others. Brony feels like one of those phobies that it's just... and there are others, that, yes, did Shinra make a mistake by not having the appropriate team? You could make that argument. But I'm not sure you can always prepare against everything. And yes, that is, oh, well, I manipulated my opponent so that I win. That's a test of skill. But as the game grows, Phobies-wise, we're going to hit a point where that's no longer reasonable, I think. I've talked about this a lot before. People care. I can go into more detail. But anyway, GG. All right, so we're going to take a peek at the next one. And yes, people were misspelling their names. Lol. It matters because when I give the names to the devs, if they can't find the player, then... All right, Koro versus PVZ. Back on Diabolical. Let's see what we've got here. Little jammy fish opener. It's a bold move there, Cotton. Not gonna lie, I wish jammy fish showed up more. If nothing else, there's a lot of phobies along the lines of jammy fish where I do think that there is value, and this is something that people cite as a reason that they don't like Arena because of the time constraint, that it's stressful, which, I mean, lol phobies, that's the whole point, but I get it. And I understand the skills that are required for, like, cognitively, I understand the skills that are required for async are somewhat different than Arena. But I do think that some things like Jammy Fish do interesting things in Arena. Like, of course, it matters in async, but you do have the time, by definition, in async, to sit there and try and calculate, okay, well, what are the possible things my opponent can do? You can't do that incredibly effectively in Arena, or certainly not as effectively. So I think it's cool having these things. It's also a level of the animations taking so long. So what do we got here? We get a little Frosty action. Phantom coming out of PVZ, kind of their signature here. Frosty, the latest phobie on everybody's most hated list, I guess. People really can't stand Frosty. Now that it's getting up to appropriate levels, people are able to do some really mean things with it. So the Phantom right now can't yoink something right out of the vault. I mean, it kinda can. Ooh, counter Phantom. I forgot Kuro had that. Get a little Phantom mirror going on. Notably, these players are the few, if the only, I think, players that have access to Phantom. So we'll see how this plays out. Sparky, I guess. I'm still of the opinion that Sparky could use a small buff. Like, I think it would be reasonable to buff Sparky. Oh, little... not Sasquatch. Skinwalker! I just had that on the thumbnail for last week's viewer games. Showing up now here in Monster of the Week. Alright. Glob. You know, Glob's not a terrible answer to Skinwalker, I guess. It may be immortal, but it also can't act while it's globbed, so there is that. I don't know what this Phantom positioning was. Maybe just a little too aggressive from, Kuro. Oh, sorry, I was trying to see if maybe this Phantom could drop the Sparky onto the stem to hit the Frosty, although that would only be one attack, probably not enough damage, and I don't think it can happen anyway. Can it? No. We are going to get the break here. Getting that Phantom in position. We get a little Onion Boy. Ogre showing up to supplement the team. Neither player making use of the Phantom yet. We're going to get a Muffin here, quite obviously. So, creep for Muffin. I guess you take that trade? Maybe? Doesn't seem insane. A pretty significant panic point advantage for our orange player here. 2, 4, 6 to 1. Octonauty getting added to the team. That does activate everybody's favorite Onion Boy, though. Not like this. No! Hanging the Frosty. Ugh, that's 9 keys incinerated. That's kind of how you get back into this. Glob chewing up the cowbell. Does, in fact, reclaim the panic point. Can Kuro salvage this is the question. All right, poison onto the Glob. Of course, it's a dimensional, so a little bit extra damage. We do have disease on Sparky and Phantom, so that push was not without consequence. Final phobia out of Kuro are sheep, or final phobies, sheep and Rusty. I don't know if I love the sheep here. 750 damage going down on skin. That's like half its health. No, the Glob! Is that just dead? No, Kuro with the rare mistakes. Sabian out of PVZ. I think this game is all but locked up. You can't lose that many keys for freezies. Look, even if you get the Glob here, like, oof. Huge oof. Okay, so we Phantom just to be able to get the Rusty, which is, that's okay. The Sabian kind of feels like it's going to be the nail in the coffin here. Although, admittedly, this poison could tick and maybe kill these. It's entirely possible that they will survive just barely, barring additional damage. It's a feels bad man moment. Phantom with the aggressive positioning. It doesn't really matter. It's 3 phobies to a lot. Admittedly, many of them are poisoned and or diseased. Is that enough for our orange player to try and claw their way back into this game? That is a free kill there, air quotes. Just getting some repositioning, not willing to give up access to the stim just yet. Can definitely understand that. Sabian could get a double hit, but instead electing to go for Octonauty. Is there a way to connect? Muffin is the final phobie. That's going to keep Ogre alive. It looks like Glob's going to bite the dust to the poison. We may still have a game on our hands. Oh, that's a good play. That's a good play. Multiple displacement abilities in order to reposition the Ogre, take down the Octonauty. Big panic point advantage. Blue completely going the other way. 1,000 damage a turn, and then there were 2. Ogre goes down, but Gravedigger will probably handle the Jammy Fish solo. And then it's 3 to 1. Oh, we're doing it this way. All right. That works. This does allow the reposition. It body blocks out the Phantom, so now our orange player has to try and fight two different fronts, panic points as well as phobies. I mean, they kind of had to deal with the panic points anyway. That would be GG. Very well played against some, what most of the community considers oppressive phobies. And like I said, some rare mistakes out of Kuro. Kuro, one of the best players in Monster of the Week. Well played. GG. All right, chat. Let's see what else we got. All right, last game from Event A that we're going to look at anyway. Hitting the wrong buttons on the old Stream Deck. Kuro coming back this time against Dama. We're here on Pluto. Speaking, so we go from hated phobies to hated maps. I know a lot of people hate this map. Kuro all in on the jammy fish in this event, it seems. You gotta get in, like, 5 more cups of water, chat. These are big cups. I did get a, a custom-made Chompers mug. Although it's in the wash right now. So, otherwise I'd show it off. Get Grimes coming out here. That's an interesting play. Very interesting play on this map. Looks like Kuro may have been experimenting, we'll say, on or in this particular event. Popping us up to 4 keys. That allows for a giggles. I'm not gonna lie, I don't love the Grimes here. Certainly not with defensive positioning. I think you kind of need to accept that it will potentially get hit by a stemmed hit. And therefore you need to push aggressively with it, because otherwise you're just never getting value out of it. And at this point, you've now completely ceded the center of the map. Yes, you can pick off this cat, but at what cost? I do like the Shove Shark, and I wonder, for all the people who hated this map, A, do you still hate it? B, how does Shove Shark influence it at all? Does it influence your opinion of the map at all? Because it does allow for the player who is not currently in control of the map to have a way to kind of push themselves into it. Chad, as I mentioned earlier, if there's white noise in the background or anything, I apologize. I gotta have the fan on because it's very hot. Although one of the light bulbs blew out, so I gotta replace that later today. Gotta run out to the store. But let me know in the comments if you're getting like white noise in the background, just so I know if I can keep fans on. Jammy Fish going down without a ton of value. It did get a couple of uses. The giggles earlier than it would have otherwise is important, but again, I think Kuro played a little too defensively here. Our blue player, no panic point advantage, but a phobie and key advantage. We got Tick to try and break the stalemate. This will force our blue player back. Because you can push the Tick up, possibly AoE stuff off the stem, but clearly not in this case. Kuro taking the safer path, just poking. Picking off keys where they can. The Tick obviously forced some positional challenges for our blue player, but Klepto with zero fear going in there. If this is a dead Tick... Okay, it's not a dead Tick. So we're going to get a big Tick hit. However, Disease is it's a slow effect. I think Shove Shark is down, but that doesn't really matter here. We can get a Grimes takedown. Possibly? We should. Is this enough damage? I didn't know this. At least I didn't know this offhand. Grimes does less damage on attacks, baseline, than Shove Shark, which probably is, like, you could make a balance argument for that, but that just feels weird. I'm not saying buff Grimes. I'm saying nerf Shove Shark. Shove Shark got nerfed in one way. Goes down there. Bluelian recently nerfed Bluelian. Unfortunately for Koro, out of position Innoculus. Meaning that the Innoculus couldn't just snipe the Klepto carefree. Instead, you need the Giggles assistance, which yields... It's going to yield a dead Giggles. Still a panic point advantage. Blue player aggressively pushing up. I just don't think there's a way for Koro to kill both. I mean, we can see how much left is in the game, but like, even if Koro was able to eliminate the Corn here in this fashion, Bluelian's just going to burrow through even before the panic point, or, you know, if the panic points didn't do it, you could burrow through and get there anyway. You wouldn't have enough damage to take down the Bluelian. But GG, well played. Alright, chat. That is Monster of the Week A. Like I said, if you're interested in playing in some Phobies tournaments where everything is set to level 1 and you get coffee just for participating in the events, hit up the Random Thoughts Discord. Link for that, of course, is in the description. That's going to do it for now. We'll see if we can get an Event B stream going on later today. We're going to play it by ear. But as always, everybody, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and tune in next time for more Random Thoughts.